Good morning. Welcome to my channel. I have another WIP and Chat while I work on this Chuck Pinson diamond painting. I will be cross-stitching later today, which means that you're going to start seeing cross-stitch, stitching chats again. I try to give as much of my energy to this Chuck Pinson Paradise. The name of this one is Spring Mountain Majesty. So I try to give as much of my energy to this painting as I could with hopes of trying to get it done. And my intent originally was to have it done by the end of March, but that didn't happen. So, for starters, how are you today? And then secondly, what a difference a day makes. It's bright and sunny outside. I woke up, I was able to say my morning prayers, and I'm okay today. My sleep was good. No night terrors last night, which is a miracle. And so what did I do yesterday? Yesterday, I put the jigsaw puzzle away that my cats had messed up. And I have the Rainbow series by, I think it's Seiko. I'm not sure if that's the company. And I thought green was next, but yellow is next. So that's what I'm working on. And then I pulled out 3 of my projects, which is going to be the Autism Brain, my Temperature project, and which is a tree. And then the third thing that I pulled out was Taylor's Oldest Time. So those are the 3 that I will rotate throughout the day. And then I think tomorrow is when I will give attention to all of my frosted pumpkin stitchery projects, which I have 4. And then after I rotate those 4, I would like to start the flowers that were in the April issue of the Just Cross Stitch magazine. So I remember buying the drills and the fabric, but I didn't kit it up, so maybe tonight I'll kit it up. In addition to that, I did watch Survivor. The last 2 episodes, I was technically a week behind. So tonight when it comes on, I'm on time. And I have to say, and I don't need to say this if you watch it, Jonathan is a beast. I mean, he could be a Hollywood extra or a stuntman for all the strength and power that's in his body. So he made watching the show really good. I can't think of the girl that drives everybody crazy. She drives me crazy too. Can't think of her name. The one that's studying to be a minister or a preacher or something. She's a handful. And I tried to watch, there's a show where you have some Hollywood icons who are surviving in the wilderness to raise money for charity, but I got bored and I shut the TV off because I really can't watch a lot of TV. So let's see what else they do. I didn't have to cook because we had leftovers, but hubby made hamburgers anyway. I wasn't able to eat it though. I gotta call my surgeon. Did I talk to anybody? Oh, I talked to my friend a couple of times. And I talked to Fashawn, but only for a few minutes. She said she'd call me back, but she must have got tied up because I didn't hear back from her. Did I read? Yes, I read Deadly Summer Nights by Vicki Delaney. And now I'm reading book 2 in her series, Catskill series. And that is Deadly Director's Cut. And I have Deadly Director's Cut for review, but whenever I have time, I will acquire the previous books in an existing series and do my best to read what I can. I can't always do it, but sometimes I can. So I was able to do that with Deadly Director's Cut by reading Deadly Summer Nights. So my intent is to listen to that on text-to-speech until I'm finished and I'm 47% done, and then to write up a series review for both titles and then send them to Yasmin, who is the publicist. So then I also need to write the review for Silent Little Girls. I think that might be Jennifer Chase. I'm not sure. But I've got to write the review for Silent Little Girls, and I also have to write the review for In Bloom. I've already made those videos, but I haven't written those reviews. And then after I do all of that, and this is going to be before I go in my room to cross-stitch and work on my puzzle. Those are the things I plan on doing while I'm right here in the office. So after I finish the book I'm on and write up those reviews, by then hubby should be up. He works at night, so therefore he's asleep right now. And once he gets up, the way that I have my day structured, I should be able to transfer back into my bedroom with the activities that I wanted to do done in my office. And so then once I go back in my bedroom, I kind of want to watch a couple of primetime shows, like I'm 2 episodes behind on a few shows. But if I don't do that, I want to read 2 more books in like Deadly Summer Nights and Deadly Director's Cut are cozy mysteries. Well, I have 2 more. I have Knit or Die Trying for review, but it's the second book in the series, and the first one is On Skein of Death. So I might read those 2 books before I watch any TV today. So that's kind of like I'm shooting for 3 books today, but I think that's what I'm going to do. Plus, I also started that true crime book, Unmasked by Paul Holes, and I'll only read a chapter or so at a time for that. So I'll, at some point, I will just read a chapter. It comes out on the 26th, so I'm just going to read a chapter or 2 at a time until I'm ready to dive all the way into the book, but I want to get some of these cozy mysteries done. And if you watched me yesterday and my mood was dark, I do apologize, but I was just having those weird emotions that bounced off of a trigger. But I think that I am definitely somebody who benefits from the sunshine. And when I woke up, even before like my eyes were fully open, I could sense how bright it was, and I started praying right away. It just felt so good to have a bright sunny day, and that has really helped my mood. That really has. Another thing that helps my mood too is if I don't have night terrors the night before, my day is usually a pretty decent day, my next day. If I have night terrors the night before, my next day tends to be a little bit more difficult. And no, I'm not speaking it into existence or anything. It's just, I'm just stating what happens to me. So good. Oh, I was kind of thinking about coloring, guys. I was thinking about coloring because I still belong to a lot of Facebook coloring groups. And I keep seeing some gorgeous, 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 gorgeous work. So I don't know how I'm going to fit that into my schedule, but I'm thinking about coloring. And the other thing that I want to do, but I think I may wait till my grandsons come back, is I want to build my room or my Lego stuff that I have. So I've got to call my son or the boy's mom and find out when I can have them, and then we can sit at my kitchen table and work on those projects. So those are going to get done, but I decided that I'm going to do them with help. I'm coming down with something. I don't know what's going on. I've got a double earache, a sore throat, and a weird cough. So Tony gave me some elderberry, oregano tablets, capsules, and some Kyosic mushrooms. It's like there's some nutrients that they include in those, but I don't quite know what it is. But he's really good about that stuff. So when he came in from work last night, well, this morning, because he gets in about 3 in the morning, I told him I was sick. So he reaches into his beautifully organized stash, and so I've got to take some of that stuff today so that whatever it is doesn't hit me too hard. I haven't been exposed to anybody. I mean, the grandkids were here last week and they're sick, but they just have the sniffles and the runny nose, and it's been 3 days since I've seen them, so I can't understand why I would get sick 3 days later if I caught it from them. Like, if I caught it from them, wouldn't have I gotten sick the next day? So it can't be what the babies have. So that's about it. But even though I don't feel good, I still plan on having a full, rich day because my mood is good. I'm just trying to see that there's a lot of confetti here, so it's 2 drills here, 2 drills there, here a drill, there a drill, everywhere a drill, you know how that goes. So I'm just trying to find all the spots so that I don't put this away, put these drills back in the thingy and then have to pull them out. Because if I find that I'm missing drills, I will stop and put in those missing drills and then go back to what I was doing. I won't like if I see a V, if I'm working on the letter W and then later I see a V, I'll set the letter W down and pop in those V's. So I would rather get it on the first time around, and then that way I don't have to retrace my steps. See, there's a V and a Y very close to each other right there. Where's that V? Plus, my camera won't really work if I have this drafting table at a good angle. It makes the camera float. So I'm not as close to my work as I will be. I'm not as close to my canvas as I would be if I wasn't making this video. So it's only a 12-minute video, but can I think of anything else to talk about? Let's see. Oh, yeah, I can talk about something. I've got to look at my iPad. I'm the kind of person that has probably 30 or so authors that when I see a book from them, I take it even without reading the blurb. That's just, and it's worked for me. I don't think I've ever grabbed a book by an author that I like and have been disappointed. I've been fortunate with regard to that. So with that in mind, I got this book on NetGalley called Girl Forgotten by Karen Slaughter. So let me tell you, I didn't even read the blurb. By not reading the blurb, I didn't realize that it was part 2 of Andrea. Let's see. Andrea, what is Andrea's last name? We are going to run over to Goodreads because I'd love to tell you about this one. And I can ask you something once I almost there. It's Andrea Oliver, series number 2. So Andrea Oliver was in Karen Slaughter's book called Pieces of Her, which came out in 2018, but I read it last October, so barely 6 months ago. Well, I didn't realize that Girl Forgotten, which by the way comes out, I think August 2nd. I'm pulling it up right now. June 23rd. It comes out June 23rd. So Girl Forgotten comes out June 23rd. Nope, I think that's in the UK. I'm gonna double check. Yes, there are 2 publication dates. Published by HarperCollins, it comes out June 23rd, which I think is in the UK, but our copy for the United States is August 23rd. So I may even talk to the publicist to see when they want my review to go up. Do they want me to wait till August or do they want it in June? So, since I absolutely have to read that book by Karen Slaughter, I went ahead and reread Pieces of Her. And then I was also told that there is a Netflix series. So I said, okay, I'm going to binge watch the series. I got through 2 episodes, and I can't even tell you anything about the 3rd episode, because hopefully you're not seeing my hand. I'm trying to make sure those. Okay, it's hard. The V's and the Y's are kind of next to each other, so that's kind of a pain. So anyway, I decided to try to binge read the Netflix series, binge watch the Netflix series. But I just, first of all, it's TVMA, which is not something I generally watch. And TVMA basically means gratuitous sex or violence. And that's just not, I try to limit myself with regard to that. So I'm not going to watch any more of the series, but I am going to go ahead and read Girl Forgotten very soon. So that's one exciting thing. Another exciting thing I can tell you about reading, I'm going to talk for a few more minutes. Let me give you guys 5 more minutes. Is I keep a spreadsheet called a series spreadsheet. Actually, I keep 20, 30 spreadsheets. I have lots of spreadsheets. And when I say I have a lot of spreadsheets, I'll show you. Like, this is my blog tour spreadsheet for 2022. So if I shrink it down, you have all of these books as well as these Harlequin books. This was earlier in the year. This is the summer going into August. So I have all that for 2022, but back in 2021, I had this many. Back in 2020, that's how many I had in 2020. So that's one of my spreadsheets. And then I have another spreadsheet that I keep called series that I am reading. That's not going to come out clear. Let's see if we can make that clear. My mouse, I don't see my mouse tracking. Give me a second. Focus. There we go. So I have one of my other spreadsheets, this series that I am reading. So I started this I should date it. I started this in 2020, and then this was 2021, and even more is 2022. So I'll probably rename them. So that's 2020, 2021, and even more. So for even more, I didn't color code it yet. I'll do that later. These are all the books I plan on reading this year, in addition to all of those blog tour titles you saw in another spreadsheet. And so the series that I want to read this year are the Linda Castillo series, the Kate Burkholder. I have 2 or 3 of these as print arcs. They're in the other room. I'm looking at my desk. They're not there. So I'm collecting them as print arcs, and I read the first one, but I'm going to binge read all of the other titles. And I know that you can't see them, and I apologize for that. Let's see if I can. So I've already read Sworn to Silence. So you see there's a line drawn. And so Pray for Silence is next. So that's one of the series I'm going to binge read. Then Fashawn keeps telling me about the Sebastian St. Cyr mystery series by C.S. Harris. And so I did get When Blood Lies, which comes out in about a month. But I'm not going to get to it before it comes out because I want to binge read all of the other books. So I already have What Angels Fear, so that's coming up. Then I want to read the Angela Morrison series. And there are 16 books total. So what is in bold are what I already have. And then the ones that are not in bold, thankfully, they're all at my library, my online library. So I'm going to get those 16 books binge read. Then I'm reading the Janet Ivanovich Stephanie Plum series. So I've already read the first 15. So the next one is Sizzling 16, and it goes all the way to Going Rogue, which comes out later this year. Game On came out at the end of last year. So like that's 24, 25, 26, but that would be 27, 28, and 29. So that's the Janet Ivanovich series. And then Fashawn keeps telling me that I absolutely have to listen to the MC Beaton series, the Agatha Raisin series by MC Beaton. It's a cozy mystery series. And except for this novella right there, all of these books, 33 plus these 2 at the bottom, are all available on Audible included with your subscription. So I don't have to pay for any of these. They're all included. So that's coming up. And then I started the Joanna Fluke Hannah Swinton series like a year ago or 2 years ago, but I've only gotten the first 9 done. But Fashawn has my Audible data and I have her Audible data, so I have all of these books on a Kindle that I'm using for Fashawn's. So I've got to get those read. And there's other things like James Patterson's newest Alex Cross and newest Women's Murder Club. There's Catherine Coulter's newest FBI series. Iris Johansson, her next Eve Duncan book. I'll be reading those this year, but I'm already fully caught up with all of those. So for me to, when I get those, and I do have some of the ones that I mentioned, like the Patterson one or the Coulter one or whatever, I have those, but I don't have to do any binge reading because I'm already caught up on all of those series. Because I am a series fanatic. As a matter of fact, on my blog I have what I call series reviews, and I think I've done 40 of them so far. And they're a lot of work to to put together, but it's a feature that I like to include on my blog. So I just thought I would tell you about that because I'm going to be getting a lot of reading done. I'm thinking that I'm going to be getting about 55 to 60 books read a month for the rest of the year. That's where I'm at. And that's why when I created this year's series spreadsheet, that's why there's so many books on there. I'm fully confident that I'll be able to knock all of those books off and come up with some fabulous reviews and videos for those. So I said I was going to keep you for 5 more minutes, but guess what? It's been 7, so we're going to call it quits. But I want to thank you for watching. Bye-bye.